Let me ask you a question. What do Jojo Siwa and Kim Kardashian have in common? Think hard. If you said they're both widely hated yet extremely successful and rich, you'd be right. Golf clap for you. They're probably some of the most observed people on the internet right now. And sure, they have very big fan bases, but they also have a lot of hater bases. I don't think hater base is a thing, but you know what I mean. They have a lot of haters. And I would argue that it's their haters that make them even more successful. It's their haters that make them popular and more talked about and last longer in news cycles. This isn't to say that their behavior hasn't warranted at least a little bit of hating, but I digress. Hi, I'm Ashara, and I make videos at the intersection of sociology, psychology, technology, and media. And today I want to talk about the psychology of hate watching. Why do we make people we don't like famous? If you don't know Jojo Siwa, she is a singer, a dancer, and a social media personality. I first came to know her through the smash hit series that is Dance Moms. She was a dancer for the Abby Lee Dance Company, and she was only on the show for about 2 seasons, but she did make an impression. She was very colorful, full of life and spunk, and she was known for her cute little bows. I guess they really weren't that little though, they were pretty big. After she left Dance Moms, she became a mogul and really made a name for herself. She had big merch deals with brands like Nickelodeon, Claire's, JCPenney. She went on to perform to sold out arenas. She was who your kids wanted to watch. Like, she was definitely a very popular kids entertainer. Jojo Siwa has been a meme for most of her career. She's been made fun of from the way she speaks super energetically.
Ew, good morning to every single Steven who's up in this entire little baby. How's it going today, guys? Good.
To her hairline being snatched back from wearing her hair in a ponytail all the time.
Jojo Siwa from Dance Moms is a perfect example of why you shouldn't wear a super tight bun. You can literally see her hair transform in just 4 short years.
And even her outfits have been made fun of because people viewed them as too childish and too colorful. Basically, her main critique is that she was a big kid who wouldn't grow up. She got hate for not being grown. Just to put it in perspective, she and Bad Baby are the same age. Then she came out as queer. I believe she identified as a lesbian. She doesn't anymore. She had a couple of girlfriends and people hated her for those reasons, homophobic reasons. She came out with her song Karma's a B word. I'm not gonna swear on here. Karma's a B word, and she did a lot of rebranding for that, and it seemed like it was inspired by the brand Kiss. She said that she invented gay pop, and then she got memed for that, for Kiss, and how she just behaved in those rebranding interviews.
Dream guest on my podcast? Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes.
Oh?
So who's a dream guest on your podcast?
Dream guest on my podcast? I don't know. Let's spice it up a little bit. One of my exes.
And more recently, she went on to Big Brother UK, where she allegedly cheated on her partner with a man, which was very much a scandal, and now she's allegedly in a relationship with said man she cheated on her partner with. And people are mad that she's not a full lesbian anymore. Throughout her career, though, she has received a lot of hate at every single step of the way. Despite all of that, she is extremely successful. She's only 22 years old, and her net worth sits at about $20 million. This is US dollars. When she was 16, she bought a house for $3.5 million. She's got 11 million followers on Instagram and 45 million followers on TikTok. What I'm getting at is that she's very successful. But I am pretty hard pressed to find someone who isn't a child who will identify as a Jojo Siwa fan, even if they follow her. Anytime I hear someone discuss her, it's always with an air of condescension or disgust or hatred. Speaking of people talking about them with an air of condescension and superiority, let's talk about the Kardashians. Actually, we're just gonna talk about Kim. I don't have time to unpack that entire family. There's like 17 of them. Kim Kardashian, businesswoman, reality TV star, famous for being famous. She receives quite a bit of hate. Some of it is warranted. Has she greatly contributed to and profited from the dumpster fire that is modern beauty standards? Yes. But do people continue to buy anything she slaps her name onto, including hair vitamins, shapewear, makeup? Also, yes. She sits at the intersection of admiration, luxury, and hatred. What a weird place that is to be. And a quick refresher for people who don't really remember Kimberly Kardashian's lore. So, she's the daughter of Kris Jenner and Robert Kardashian. Robert Kardashian was the attorney for O.J. Simpson. Remember, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. It was before my time. I think that was the saying. Her family starred in one of the first lifestyle reality TV shows to ever air, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And boy, was it a smash hit. It documented their day-to-day problems, and the show had 20 seasons. Before she really blew up, she was seen pictured next to Paris Hilton often. She worked as Paris Hilton's stylist and was often known as like Paris Hilton's sidekick and little best friend. This was before the infamous sex tape with Ray J. Now, Kim did get a lot of hate from the sex tape. She also got a lot of interest and a lot of eyes on her afterwards. People slut-shamed her, they said she didn't deserve the things that she got, but yet they still watched every single move that she made. Weird. As her hate grew, so did her notoriety. Today, Miss Kim Kardashian is worth over $1 billion. Her business ventures include KKW Beauty, Skims, Kimoji, KKW Fragrance, the Kim Kardashian game. I know you remember that game. It blew up. I never played it, but I had a friend who was really obsessed with it. She has a huge fan base and a huge hater base. It is not difficult to find hate comments, whether that's on her Instagram or TikTok, any YouTube videos about her. It's very easy to find a hater. Where there's someone that loves her, there's someone that absolutely hates her. What I'm getting at is that she's someone people love to hate. And they'll watch pretty much anything she's in so that they can hate on her. Odd behavior, but I can explain it. Hate watching. It refers to the act of consuming media, usually television, purely due to the enjoyment we get out of mocking or criticizing it. Writes psychologist Mark Travers for Forbes. I've done this. In high school, I would have sleepovers with one of my friends and we would purposely pick a movie that we knew we wouldn't like just so we could watch it and make fun of it as we were watching it. It was an activity. An example of this on a much bigger scale is the show Emily in Paris and the backlash it has received and yet continues to receive. I remember when the show first aired and all up and down everybody's timeline, at least my timeline in my corner of the internet, was people talking about how much they didn't like the show. They disliked it, they hated it, they said it was about nothing, the characters didn't make any sense, the plot didn't make any sense, they hated her outfits, they hated her style, they hated everything about it. But they still watched it.
On my personal list of protagonists in TV shows that are so unlikable that you kind of hate watch the show, Emily in Paris is very, very high on that list. And it's so interesting to me because anyone I speak to who has seen this show or is watching this show, whenever I ask them, like, what do you think of Emily? Overwhelmingly, people don't like this character. The character is extremely unlikable. Not only that, but the show in itself is formulaic to an absurd point. The same thing happens episode after episode after episode. There is such a clear formula to the show. And on top of that, a little cherry on top are just offensively in-your-face product placements. They will have brands on screen at all times. They will be shoving them in your face. But despite all that, despite how it lacks any sort of substance, anytime a new season comes out, I watch it.
Somehow the show had over 60 million viewers its first month on Netflix. And the show has 4 seasons out already. Season 5 still loading. So how is it that people can watch a show so intently and then hate it at the same time? Another example is the show Riverdale. People hate that show. They say the plot makes no sense, and I think they've got some legs to stand on there because it really doesn't make much sense. The acting can be questionable at times. The show, though, had 7 seasons, and it was very popular. It was very much a love to hate situation. And of course, Sharknado. You remember Sharknado, I know you do. It was that movie series about shark-infested tornadoes. Is that ringing a bell? Everyone swore up and down that the movies were terrible, they were bad, they were ridiculous, but it's one of the most successful franchises ever, grossed over $4 billion. So was it really that bad? Mark Travers in Forbes writes, "These feelings of hate can be more overpowering than feelings of dislike, which could possibly explain our hate-fueled late-night binge watches. We're indifferent towards media that we dislike. However, we keep watching media that offends our moral character so that we can take action, whether it be by making snide comments from the couch about a cringeworthy character or a strongly worded tweet about how much better we could write the show." And if we relate that back to these celebrities like Jojo Siwa, like Kim Kardashian, hate watching can turn into hate following. Hate following is exactly what it sounds like. It's when you start following someone on social media even though you claim to hate or greatly dislike them. Dr. Martin Farr says about hate following, "In the 21st century, you can keep a watchful eye on people in a love to hate way, silently participating in this act and rejoicing in whatever aspect it is about them that you dislike, with no consequences or repercussions whatsoever. It makes hate following an extremely desirable and very easy outlet." Let's get into the psychology of it all. Why do we hate watch to begin with? Number 1, to feel superior to someone else. This can be explained by the social comparison theory, originally created by psychologist Leon Festinger in the 1950s. The theory proposes that people have an innate desire to evaluate themselves in relation to someone else. There's 2 different kinds of social comparison. There's upward social comparison, where we compare ourselves against someone we perceive to be better than us in some way. So typically this is done to inspire or motivate ourselves to be better at something or to be better as a person altogether. Then there's downward social comparison, where we compare ourselves with someone we view is beneath us. And this is primarily done just to make ourselves feel better. So bringing this back to hate watching and hate following, we're probably doing this so that we can feel superior to someone we believe is beneath us in some way. It's that downward social comparison. And taking, for example, Kim Kardashian, right? Obviously, she is very beautiful, she is very rich, she's very successful, but people might feel that she's beneath them because they have different morals from her, or they dress differently from her, because her body is allegedly augmented and theirs isn't, because she makes questionable parenting decisions and they would never do that. So they feel like they have some sort of moral high ground compared to her, and they use that to feel better than her. I have definitely seen these superiority complexes in comment sections. Assistant Professor of Sociology and Criminology David Wall explains in regard to hate following, "One motivation is self-esteem, making yourself feel better if someone fails. And a classic motivation is envy and wanting to pass judgment on people. All of these are issues of power, wanting to gain power over people perceived to have power and trying to gain social capital by taking them down." So whereas the social comparison theory can be used to explain hate watching and hate following as evaluating yourself against other people and wanting to feel better than them, David Wall explains it as a power grab, trying to feel like you have more power over someone else. Did you know that the feeling of hate can bring together communities? I mean, you probably know that if you're American, given the political landscape. But the power of hate can bring people together, is what I'm getting at. Hate watching often happens in groups, and this doesn't have to mean in-person groups. It can also refer to groups online. Online, there's fandoms, which are groups of people that have an extreme liking towards something. And then there's also anti-fandoms, which is the opposite, a group of people that have an extreme dislike, potentially hatred of something or someone. Basically, hating in a community, sorry, this is the sign language for community, my hand's just doing stuff. Hating in a community can make you feel like you belong to something, make you feel like you belong to a specific group. Dr. Charlene Ruan explains that this is an easy way to feel aligned with people that are around us. The last psychological theory I'll get into here is that hating can make us happy. It sounds a bit like an oxymoron. How does being filled with hatred, which is typically a distressing negative emotion, make you feel happy? Well, research published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology General explains just how this can happen. There was a study dedicated to uncovering the secret to happiness. A lot of people believe that feelings of happiness, like feeling joy, feeling elated, will bring about an overall state of happiness. However, the study found something else. Based on a sample of over 2,300 participants, those who were the happiest were the ones who felt the emotions that they wanted to feel. So this applies to every single emotion. If someone wanted to feel anger or sadness or distress and they were able to feel those things, then they were generally happier than people who only felt happy. Mark Travers explains, when watching something that we hate, we can experience these intense emotional reactions. These emotional reactions can trigger different responses in our brain, like the release of adrenaline or even the activation of our flight or fight response. In most situations, these responses cause us to take action to protect ourselves in scary situations. However, in the absence of anything that actually threatens our physical well-being, these intense emotional reactions can cause a release of happy hormones like oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. So, the hate and hate watching can actually feel pretty good. So it puts it into perspective how people can feel joy from hate watching. The whole love to hate is a real thing because the chemicals in your brain are producing those similar to enjoyment when you're hating. In doing all of this hate watching and hate following, we're repeatedly choosing to engage with the people we claim to hate so much. While we're busy hate watching the Kardashians, we're giving Kim K more views. And if someone were to make a TikTok about how much they hate Jojo Siwa's hairline because it's receding, they're spreading more awareness about her. In doing the hating, you're directly giving these people that you deem dumb or vapid or shallow a platform. And the bigger the platform, the bigger the check. So you're paying these people with your hatred. It's like when people say,
oh, that influencer shouldn't have the platform that they have,
yet continue to follow them, giving them the platform that they have. It doesn't make any sense. Now, does anybody remember the Hawk Tuah girl? The girl who went viral off of one street interview and literally blew up overnight?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
She launched a podcast, she made her own crypto coin, it eventually failed, but people still follow her. She's got over 2.4 million followers to this day. Right now, it seems that she has more haters than fans. Just check her comment sections. And these haters engage with every single post that she makes, and it's only further cementing her into the cultural zeitgeist, which will inevitably bring her money, which they feel she doesn't deserve. So they're contributing to the thing that they hate so much. It's mind-boggling. So what is the end game to the hate watcher? Well, I'm not sure that there really is one. I don't know if they realize that they're contributing to the success of the person they hate so much, or maybe they do realize that they're making that person successful and they just don't care because they just want to get their hate out anyways, because they just have to release it. I don't know. Maybe the point is to be mean just to be mean. And how does all of this affect the hater? Well, focusing on the negative can make you more judgmental. I'm kidding, I'm not shocked. We all saw that coming, right? Who's surprised? Are you surprised? Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. Repeatedly engaging in the critique of people who did not ask for critique can cause you to view everything with a negative lens. It can make judgment more of a habit and reinforce negative stereotypes that you already have about people. It can make you a jealous person who's really only happy when other people are doing worse than you. And it just causes you to focus on someone else. And when you're so busy focused on someone else, you're not focused on yourself and what you can be doing. I don't think I really need to get into the negative ramifications of this. I think they're quite obvious. Some scientists do think that there are potential benefits, though, to being a hater, at least in small doses. And I do mean small. They believe that you could potentially become more empathetic through the questioning of the things you hate. You start to question why you hate them, and then you question yourself and look within. I'm not confident that this is what most people do. This is not the process most people engage in, but if there are potential positives, that's one of them. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I have to say about that for now. This was a fun video to research for me. It was a bit more psychology focused, a bit more theory focused, which I like. I find myself interested in all things hate watching and hate following and being mean to people online and hate comments. I don't know why I find that fascinating, but I do. If you have a thought or an idea that you'd like to share, please comment down below. And don't be mad if I disagree with you, if I give you a bit of pushback. I find that enjoyable. We're both discussing our own ideas. We can go back and forth respectfully. Respectfully is the key word here. Just because I disagree doesn't mean I dislike the person who's disagreeing with me. So if you have a valid point, make it, by all means. This is a discussion. Well, thank you so much for watching. Much love always, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.